What's up, YouTube? We bought a new Sierra, as you know. We went over it in the last video, but let's go over this thing and see exactly what it needs and what we got going here. Immediately noticed this wasn't here. I grabbed that out of my box. We're missing an air filter. Judging by the look of the inside of this hood, probably not a good thing. I mean, there's mud caked to the fire liner there, so probably not good. We do got new brake lines. I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this in there, or I may have to go buy a filter for it. This thing basically looks like a big turbo inlet. If you take this off, you can mount it on front of a turbo. Look into the driver's side here. You can immediately notice this seat. There's no putting that back together. Like, where did this even go? Who knows? We got some wires hanging underneath here. I did already swap the radio out. I had a stock one on the shelf, so I grabbed this out of there. It's Bluetooth. It's already got the antenna splicer. It's got a harness for a Silverado and an install kit. Rockers look pretty darn good. She's clean considering, you know. So I'm happy with that. I believe they've been done at some point. Not 100% sure, but I think at least this spot's been patched in. We've got nice snow tires. It runs great. Drive shifts great. Yeah, it's just dirty, guys. Whoever owned it just did not take care of it. So I gotta clean all this out. Got a very cheap shackle lift kit here. But, I mean, how high would you think that thing would lift your truck if you dropped your shackles that far? You know, that's all of 10 inches. So, I don't know. I'll probably keep that around. Was under it last night. Needs 2 U-joints. Went and picked those up. Again, I swapped the radio. So what I want to do now is I want to get underneath here, get these 2 drive shafts out. It needs 1 U-joint in both drive shafts. So we're going to get them out, get them set up, and we'll get going on replacing some U-joints. I'm not hopeful that the guys at AutoZone gave me the right ones. We will see, but I highly doubt it's the same U-joints in the front and rear shaft. I believe they're smaller in the front shaft, but they gave me 2 of the same size. So probably going to be heading back up there. But let's get busy. It's cold out. The heat is in the tools. Bada boom, bada bing. We got them both out, and turns out both of the crappy sides are bad. So you got some, you can hear it. That one's bad. That one's bad. It's always nice when it's that end and you only have to change one side. But it is what it is. So now let me go get my U-joints, compare. I may just get these apart. Actually, hold on. I've got a brand new U-joint in a shaft. It's brand new. I could just slide the caps on, be halfway done. This is the one that exploded in my last GMC that I bought. The guy replaced them and he didn't put the clips on right, and his drive shaft exploded, ripping his T-case off the back of his tranny. So that'll be something we look into. That'll make my day easier. But either way, let's start peeling these things apart and see what we got. Well, it's inevitable that they have to give me the wrong U-joints every single time. I don't know if those are the right ones for the front shaft, but I know those are the 2 same U-joints, so one of them can't be right because that's one different one than that one. We got that one out. That U-joint definitely doesn't fit in there. It's too big. So I got it off to the side. I'm going to try to get this one off and take them with me, hopefully. Then we can match them up. There are a bunch of different ways to take these U-joints apart. The front drive shaft has clips on the inside versus that one has them on the outside. So this one you can actually use, I'm going to try to use 2 of the same size blocks of wood and just hit the actual shaft and knock it out. We'll see if it works. These ones seem to be really stuck and really solid, so hopefully it works out. Alright, front drive shaft went a lot easier than I thought it would. That was a new method that I had tried with the 2 pieces of wood. I usually try to put it on a big socket and then bang it out with a smaller socket. That method works, but actually just tapping on the shaft worked. So I'm going to head to AutoZone. I'm going to buy the right U-joint for that, and I'll be right back. We'll get it in, get this thing put together, and hopefully go drive it. Alright, I'm back with the right U-joint. Hopefully, we'll see. You can always tell by the clips, I guess. If they're the C clips, they're for the front shaft. If they're the goofy G looking clips, they're for the rear shaft. Alright, well that was an ordeal. So I got one right the first time, which was for the smaller shaft. Then they gave me another U-joint that was the wrong U-joint again for that one. Got it half installed, realized that the cups were too big to fit in the actual yoke. So I go back, I bring the yoke with me, finally come back, and you see how fast they go together. It's, you know, quick. And I think you guys are seeing that The same things go wrong with these. You got U-joints, obviously you got transmissions, brake lines, deal with those. You know, it's all the same stuff. And once you get used to a certain car, you can pretty much diagnose it and figure out what's going on with it. Other than that, this thing runs and drives great. I do want to look at the motor mounts. It seems like it's sitting a little bit low and close to the undercarriage brace. So I want to look at that, but it could be mud piled up. There's mud piled up underneath this thing that I really want to get in there and clean out. So I'm gonna get underneath there and inspect that, get these drive shafts back in, and hopefully get this thing driving. You can see I'm losing daylight. That was an all-day affair. You know, I get the first one done right away quick. I get the second one half done, and I got the wrong one, go back, get the wrong one again, go back, get another one. You know, that eats up hours running and back and forth. You know, we had to get kids and go to practices and stuff like that too, but I mean, it's just, there's not enough hours in the day to get stuff done. So let me get these shafts back in. Should be pretty straightforward, and we'll see what this thing does when I put it in gear. Before it would clack real hard going into gear, forward and reverse. So let's do that. Alright, drive shafts are in, backed it out of the garage, cleaned it up. You won't believe the mud and stuff on the floor. It's pitch dark out, so we'll take it for a drive in the morning, see how it goes, see if we got rid of all the vibrations. But right now I'm in here looking at this. Last time you saw it, it was a complete dirt bike. I went ahead and cut the forks off of it. I cut the swing arm off of it. Cut the rear subframe off, used to come back and down. Cut that off. What I'm going to do is clean up all these welds, cut this off, grind this weld down, get rid of this tab, grind that down. So it's a nice round frame coming down. We'll get rid of all this ugliness, and right here where it gets solid, where everything meets, we're going to weld on a rear subframe to mount our axle to and set a seat. Everything's already mounted in. It just makes sense to do this. I've got my pipe bolted in, my motor bolted in, all my electronics. I've already got my bars, which I'm probably going to put different bars on, but all my cables are ran. You know, it's simple. We put a big mountain bike front end on there and a subframe in here and mount an axle, run a chain to a sprocket, build a cover. This thing's going to be freaking sweet. It's going to be fast. It's got a 6-speed transmission in it. It's a 2-stroke. So we definitely want a long axle, but I went ahead and just started cutting on it because my dad bought it for the boys. Said, here, you guys can build something out of it. I just want a couple parts. It's basically just good for an engine. He wanted the triple tree in the front forks and the front tire, the rear tire, and the rear shock. So he's doing something at his house. That's all he wanted. So for 120 bucks, you know what I mean? The motor's worth 120 to me. That's what he paid for it. He just gave it to us, told us to build something. So while the boys were at school, I went ahead. My dad came over, you know, wanted to get his tires and his front forks, so I just went ahead with a grinder, started chopping this thing, and this is what we got. It almost looks better like this, doesn't it? So that's a heck of a starting point, and that's exactly how it's going to sit. That base is level. That's what we're going to come off of. We're going to come off the back level. You know, some go-kart tires, a seat, front forks, handlebars, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that front bar yet, but I got to mount a little tank up there somewhere. So be looking for this series, guys. I'm going to start it soon. I'm researching rear axles. I've already got a lot of the parts I need. I don't want to do anything with it yet or start a series yet until, you know, I can do it without being interrupted. I don't want to make 2 or 3 videos and then not work on it for a month. So it's looking good. The bike still runs as is. The ground wires are all hooked up. Throttle's hooked up. Kickstart's hooked up. I could literally start it right now. But yeah, so there's that. And then if you have any ideas for this exhaust, it is 2-stroke, so you need this chamber. I'm thinking about throwing a little 1-inch S pipe here, or 90, and a 90, and bringing this pipe back down and then shooting it out and then up on an angle. You know, obviously we don't want that thing shooting us in the face. We already have to build a chain guard or a box around the chain, so I might just bring this down around, feed it around, put it inside that box, and shoot it out the back. We will see. But it's a water-cooled 2-stroke Yamaha engine. It ought to haul, man. So stay tuned, you're gonna wanna see that. I'll catch you guys in the morning, it's getting late. All right, next day. Let's start this thing up. See if we got a big bang when we go into gear. She's loud. Definitely need to put a muffler on this thing. Okay, let's see what it does in drive. Nice. Nice. All right, U-joints are fixed. Let's get this thing pulled in. I'm gonna let this thing warm up for a minute. I've got a slow leak coming out of something. Those two tranny lines are split and spliced together with a rubber line and some real cheap clamps. I'm thinking that's where it's leaking from, and it only does it after it runs for a minute and gets warm. So I might actually just keep this running, let it warm up, go from reverse to drive, get that transmission pump moving, and see where that leak's coming from. I went ahead, before I came out of it last night, I wiped everything down, cleaned everything, and that's gonna allow me to see where it's leaking from. All right, so I got my filter on here. Nice that the coupler that was on that, I don't know if you call it a turbo inlet or not, but you know, that was on there. So the rubber coupler that went around that slid right on this, and it's actually a Spectre filter for a Spectre tube, so that turned out perfect. I don't know how that happens for me, but it does a lot. And the tranny has been out at one point. The tranny cool lines were joined together with a rubber hose. One of the clamps was finger tight, so I fixed that. Other than that, it runs and drives great. I'm gonna weld my muffler on this thing, quiet it down just a little bit, and should be ready to go to cleaning. It's a little harder in winter time to do, you know, car washes, but basically I have a car wash right around the corner. I just drive it up there, run it through it. It doesn't do as good of a job, but it's something, you know. When your hose is frozen, you can't really use it, but I'm gonna go ahead, get this thing cleaned up, get it ready. What do you think this will sell for? I picked it up for 1,300 bucks. It's got new snow tires on it. Transmission's been replaced. It's got 3 new brake lines, new U-joints now. So it runs and drives great. 4x4 works great. The rockers are solid. Fender flares are a little bit crusty, but not bad. I'm thinking before I put too much work into it, I got it running and driving good. It doesn't need anything to be a daily. So I think I'm going to off it just like this. And if it doesn't sell, I'll just slowly do more. I definitely want to put the muffler on it, but I have to dial down my videos. They're so long, you know, 30, 35 minutes too long. And everybody's telling me if I shorten my videos to 15 to 20 minutes, it'll help my channel. So comment below, what do you think this will sell for? It is a nice truck. It needs a good cleaning. I'd like to go to the junkyard and get that seat, but today I can't. I have to do a couple things. So tomorrow I will be filming it, and then be looking for the series on that thing. We will be building that, so that'll be a pretty fun project. I can't wait to see what it turns into. What's up to all the new subscribers? How you guys doing? Hope you like the channel. And if you haven't, maybe share the channel. Help me out. Like the video. You know, comment down below. That all helps. Shows YouTube we're good people. I really appreciate it. You guys are an awesome group of people. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your comments and the love. We'll see you. Peace.